So what's up? How you doing today? We are going to take a look at the bass on Brown Eyed Women, and we're going to look at two different approaches, the Europe 72 slower version and the little faster one from Cornell in 77. So let's just jump right into it and give it a listen to the slower version, just the IntroVerse chorus, and we'll check out what's going on. So the intro is just really the second half of the verse, but on this version, Phil doesn't kick in until the A. So he kicks in right here on the A, and then E, right? And throughout here, I'm going to be using a chart that is just really got like a root and an octave for each one here. So we're just going to have that as our basis, and there's different areas we could play it. So the C sharp minor, we're here, but you could also play it here. So I'm not going to map out every little thing, but I want you to, if you don't know these different areas, explore around and start to figure this way out and start to come out with a map of the fretboard. But we'll look at some different approaches he uses for how to create these bass lines. Not an exact thing, because of course with him, there's very little exact bass lines he would do. So really more of a framework. So we got that for the intro. And then the verse, we're going to the C sharp minor, right? Now, a lot of people think that this is in the key of C sharp minor because they assume whatever the first chord is of a section of or a tune, that is the key of the song, but that's not always the case. More often, actually, the last chord, especially the last chord of a whole song, not just a part or section, is going to be the key rather than the first chord, but it really all depends. But in this case, it's the key of E. It keeps coming back to that E chord and resolving all the chords fit perfectly into the E major key, except for one chord in the bridge that we'll get to later. So we're on that C sharp minor, right? And then we're going up to E, to B, back to C sharp minor, and you could also do it here. E, A, right? There's a little extra. So that was just a measure of 2/4, so just 2 extra beats, and that happens every time in that same spot, even in the chorus for that typical kind of dead stuff. And now what's going on for a lot of the fills is that it's just revolving around the E major pentatonic, and that's the same actually as the C sharp minor pentatonic. So even over that chord, it all kind of works. So if you just kind of like use this little spot right here, you can just do a lot of fills like that. So say that last part there, you're going, there's some space, a good spot for a fill, or on the A. So that is a really easy way to just throw in some fills, is just use the pentatonic. But we're going to mostly focus on roots and octaves and throwing in some fits for other little bass lines to revolve around these chords. But let's check out the faster Cornell version first. So you may notice it's a lot of the same stuff. The biggest difference is just the feel of it, and it's a really hard thing to kind of just put down into words. That's why I like to put these performance things there, so you can kind of hear it, see it, and feel it, and kind of, you know, more than trying to, like, you know, read out the exact notation of something written out. But again, with Phil's stuff, he's just so all over the place and just so free in his approach that it's really hard to just narrow it down unless you want to do a whole transcription, which I don't really recommend doing things like that. It's just better to get the approach and figure it out by feel and by sound and stuff. And really to do your own thing too, not to just copy him, you know, verbatim. But that's about it there. So let's actually just dive right into the bridge, and let's listen to both versions now back to back, and then I'll show you what's going on there. Bridge here, it's going to be the same idea, that both approaches just have a different feel, but it's overall same chords, no like really distinct one bass line here, another bass line there, and it's starting off on a B minor. So this is the one chord that has a note, just one note that's out of the key in there, and we're going B minor, A to E, and now it's two chords a measure, and then it repeats that. C sharp minor, B, A, G sharp minor, back to A for a full measure plus an extra 2 beats, and then back to that E. So it's the same, those last, you know, A to E, it's the same on the verse and on the chorus and on the bridge, all the same there. So good to know that spot really well. So the last thing I'll leave you with is, you know, you can just throw in some fifths. If this is new to you, you know, you get your octave, right? And your fifth in between. So this is a good spot to just start throwing that stuff in there. Like, you know, you could go like that in the A. Boom, because it goes quick to the E or right into the E. That was kind of that E major pentatonic again. Right, so going, and just sliding right into the root there. So the idea is, no matter kind of what you're doing, is always be that root of that chord, get it there. It doesn't have to always be right in the beat. You know, Phil's often playing a little early, a little late, just kind of all around the beat. But and sometimes right on there, and doing those things creates tension, and then when you get on the beat more right with the root, that kind of resolves that tension. So it's all about kind of playing around with it. So now you've got the framework, and I've got backing tracks for both these versions without bass, with the charts just right here that you can follow along, so you can try out the framework here for both of them and really work on the feel. Just playing around yourself, but try out one of the backing tracks over here if you got your bass with you now. And have fun with it, and I'll see you in one of the next videos.